Thanks for tapping in with Sia, living higher frequency lifestyles where wellness plus healing equals happiness. All right, today I want to talk about hustling. And most people that hustle all day, all night, they be stressed, sick, sad, and in the end, they have regrets, right? We don't want to have regrets. We want to live our life and enjoy the choices that we made, right? So let's work towards living more and working less, right? Let's get away from that hustle mentality, especially the indigenous women. And when I say indigenous women, I'm speaking to the term that they give us: black, African American, Negro, colored, and the list goes on, right? A lot of black women have that mentality where they hustle. They got to be doing something, working hard, working hard, working hard. Entrepreneurs, especially myself, I come from a family of business owners, okay? So working as well as having your own business. With that being said, it brings a lot of sadness because you transform into someone that you're not. I start gaining weight, right? Then comes putting my dreams, my true dreams on hold. And when I say true dreams, I'm saying that because when you have that hustle mentality, sometimes you get lost. You lose yourself. You lose yourself in all areas in life. And then you get stuck like, wow, I'm just doing this for money, but I'm really not happy. So when you're really not happy, are you really living life? This is why many people that are poor can be so happy. And a lot of people are confused because they don't understand why they're smiling so much. It's because they're living life. What is all this money if you can't enjoy it? I was having a conversation with one of my daughters, and she was asking me, Mom, you have a master's degree. Why don't you work in this field anymore? You could be getting money and working, but that's not what I want. See, my kids are grown now, and by my kids being grown, I was able to get back to myself. So getting back to myself, I understand that I really wasn't living life. I had it, how they say, ass backwards. But what is living? So that's a question that I had to reflect on. I had to meditate on. I had to analyze what that means to me. When I start waking up in the morning, the thing that helped me change was I start beginning to say, when I wake up in the morning, what can I do today to bring out the best in me for today? All right. What do I need to do today on my to-do list? What are my goals for today? All right. Based on that, what do I need to do to make that happen? So if today I'm just cleaning up my home, what do I need to do to make me a better me so I can clean my home with love? If I'm an instructor for today, a teacher for today, or a counselor, what am I doing for myself to make myself better at being a counselor, a teacher, or whatever? A program director, a business owner. What am I doing for myself to bring out the best in me? Am I drinking my water? Am I meditating? Am I giving myself those positive affirmations? Am I moving around? Am I stretching? Am I giving myself breaks? Am I being gentle with myself? Am I understanding that in one day, with being a mother, a wife, a friend, and all these things, having a full-time job, going to school, going to school and I have a list of 10 to do, a list of 10 things to do today, why would I beat myself up for only being able to do 6 or even 8 or even 2? The studies show that if you have a to-do list, if you've completed 3 things on that list, that you've been successful. So again, be gentle with yourself, okay? Be gentle on yourself. Understand that sometimes things are just not going to happen, and you just have to carry that on over for the next day. Or sometimes it may have to wait to the next week. And that's what we speak to prioritizing. What is the most important things on that 10 item list, okay? Which is too much. 10 items on the list is way too much, all right? So, what are you doing to start your day when you wake up to improve yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially? I've seen a lot of my staff waste so much money buying fast food every day for lunch. And so buying fast food every day for lunch, they're not waking up, starting their day to be the best them, because by the end of that week, they're hurting financially. So is buying lunch every day hurting you financially? Is it hurting you mentally and physically? Are those meals that you're purchasing, are they giving you high frequencies? Are they making you feel good, giving you more energy? All right. Now, the next thing is waking up, bringing out the best of you, is understanding what your goals are. What are your true goals, right? Working less is not a bad thing. I used to think having all these goals, accolades, and accomplishments was amazing. Having all these titles and under your name, that was too much for me. It might be great for everyone else, but at this point in my life, I want to enjoy my life and live my life and be happy and spread happiness and love. And I can't do that doing all these other things. Again, you will get lost, right? And when you get lost, then you start cutting corners. Like I tell my staff, when you're stressed and overwhelmed, your documentation is not going to be plus. Your documentation is going to be negative, because you're not going to be able to think properly because you're exhausted. You're just trying to get it done to get it done. So what kind of counseling is that when you can't really be present for your staff? What kind of parent could I be, or was I, when I thought I was an amazing parent because I was able to do things for them financially? But in reality, I couldn't even focus on and see certain things because I was so exhausted and tired. And most times I was really sick and struggling day by day because I was working so hard. Again, had it ass backwards. I wanted to live more, but I wasn't taught how to live. I was taught how to work hard and you would be successful, right? And the funny thing is, a lot of people get depressed because they work so hard, bust their butt, do things, and they might go through a divorce and lose everything. So all of that hard work goes down. And so then they go on this downward spiral. But when you live in life, right, you understand that everything happens for a reason. And because I could get it before, I could get it again easier because now I know what to do. But I didn't understand that when I was working hard and hardly living. But now I'm living and hardly working, and I'm still happy, happier and happier every day. And some of those things that I don't have presently, I have them very shortly after. If it's something I need, I just speak to that. But going back and reflecting on your goals, you might see like, dang, I don't even want that. or something that you think you want, a car, or live in a certain area or whatever. It's like, wow, I don't even want that now that I think about it. So a lot of times I see people doing vision boards and all these things, and sometimes it's accomplished and it's like, and whatever. Or they're on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, because they're still searching, because they have goals and they don't know why they really have those goals. So when you make your New Year's resolutions, which sometimes is not the right time, because during the winter time you're supposed to be hibernating. So that's thinking. Look at the seasons, look at the animals during snow and rainy seasons. They are hibernating, thinking, meditating, trying to see, hey, what's gonna happen for the spring. Then the spring, boom, that's when things blossom and grow, right? Again, sorry about that. um why do you have the goals you have? Okay, why do you have the goals you have, and what can you do to make that happen? Sometimes we have to go back to when we were a kid and get those little pieces to the puzzle. We have to go find those hidden gems, right? Because sometimes life allows us to change ourselves, right? Because we're working hard and we're not living, right? When I was a kid, I used to ask so many questions. And I know sometimes for some people it could be irritating. In class, I would ask, like, why? Why are they doing that? And it wasn't because I was challenging them, it was to help me understand. So moving forward, next time I could do better and be better, because then I'll understand what's going on better, right? So I remember asking questions in church, and sometimes, and in class, and sometimes my teachers and my whoever I was asking the questions to really didn't have the answer, so they would get upset with me. And so I learned at an early age just to be quiet. And so my dad, talking to my dad when I was little, I could remember about 5 or 6. He said, Shay, he calls me Shay, not Marcia. He said, Shay, you're just inquisitive, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I was like, wow. So I applied that when I was an instructor. And so when people asked me questions that I didn't know, I would simply say, you know what? I don't know, but I will go try to get that information and get it back to you. It's okay not to know everything, right? But again, go back to when you was a kid and see, how were you when you were a kid? How were you when you used your imagination? How were you? What was your dreams? What was your goals? What was your aspirations? And why did those things change? Did those things change because you wanted to hustle and work hard to get materialistic things? All right. So let's go back to that hibernation. Hibernation, I like using that word because I had to go into hibernation, and sometimes it's needed. Even though if you don't want to, it's needed, because when you go into hibernation, you get to reflect and meditate, right? You get to meditate on those things that serve you and understand, hey, do I need to keep this? Do I need to shelf this? Or do I need to dismiss this? Okay? And so let's start thinking about those things when we're creating our vision board. Why do I have this goal? What's the purpose of me doing this? Are there some things in my life that I could eliminate? Who am I doing this for? A lot of my decisions that I made was based on my children. So I didn't do a lot of things because I wanted to be a role model, or I didn't do this to benefit them. But you got to understand, when your kids get 18, 21, go to college, start their own families, start dating, they don't belong to you. So you spent all of these years rearranging your life and making decisions, and they're gone now. So now you're left with not knowing what's your favorite things. What do you like to do? What do you want to do? Because all of your choices were made on something else. And it's a good thing because in life, we're always in transition. We're always changing. We're always growing. So don't feel sad when that happens because that was a good thing. I don't feel sad about being the mother that I was, but I can be a better mother today. Now I can speak to them and they can understand, hey, my mom is going through some changes and transitions because she's getting back to herself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? And remember, it's never a perfect time to start. It's never a perfect time to start. All right? So remember these 4 things on living your life, really living life, and working less. All right? When you would wake up in the morning, what are you going to do to bring out the best in you today? What are your goals for the day and why? Okay? 3, sometimes you must, throughout the day, not just in the morning, pause, reflect, and meditate. And again, it's never too late to start. So thank you for tapping in with Sia, where wellness plus healing equals happiness.